just give us another brief synopsis. You apparently have multiple companies you work with, so kind of tell us, give us a brief synopsis, and then we can try to pose some questions.
Okay. Briefly, what I do is I pretty much do any and everything insurance related. I insure bonds, I insure buildings, I insure churches, I insure life, cars, auto, anything that you have I can insure. I do that through Aflac. With Aflac, I actually insure businesses and the people at that particular location. And it's a pass-through cost for the employer, so the employees get the coverage and no cost to the employer. So that's usually a good product for both parties involved, because the employees now have coverage, and now the employer is providing the coverage without it costing them anything. So that's one of the things that I do. Nationwide is another company I just recently got appointed with. What Nationwide does, everybody knows Nationwide is on your side. And pretty much what Nationwide does, almost anything insurance related. Our main focus is commercial, which would be any kind of business like AHA. But my main focus is churches. Being a minister myself, I have a lot of relationships I've built over the years with different ministers. And so my main stream of business has been churches thus far. And that's what probably will continue until I get every church in Dallas. That's my goal. I work also with one third company called Invita. It's a multi-level marketing company. And primarily with them, I do a lot of IULs, which would be Index Universal Life product, which is similar to like a 401k, but it combines like a 401k with a life insurance product. So you have one plan that covers two aspects of your life. So through those three companies, I'm able to provide pretty much anything insurance related that anyone would need. Any questions? Yes.
One plan that covers two. Maybe I missed the two.
Okay. The one plan I just made a statement of one plan that covers two aspects of your life. Okay. One would be planning for retirement. Some people don't have any financial retirement plans. So IUL, Index Universal Life product, is a combination of a life product, which has life insurance on one side of it. They have another account. They set up two different accounts for you. One is called a declared account, and that'll be an amount that's declared. I mean, it's going to be guaranteed 4%, 5%, or whatever it is. And they have another account that's called an index account. The index account is indexed to the stock market, just like a 401k is. And so on one end, you have a life insurance product. On the other end, you have your savings product. So it's a combination of two products into one product. So yeah, you gain value and it grows over time. So you have money coming in, and then that you can use while you're alive, and you have money for your kids they can use while you're gone. So it benefits both parties. It benefits everybody in your life. It benefits you, which is most important, because most life insurance plans gotta benefit everybody else, not you. Well, this plan benefits you as well, excuse me, while you're still alive. So that's the benefit of that plan. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have grandchildren. So what type of product do I need to make sure that they are taken care of?
An IUL. The one product I just mentioned, we're able now, the company Invita that I work with, they have different companies that we use for that purpose. The new one we just took on, they have a plan to where you can get it on a child. Before it wasn't available for children to get. Now you can start with a child, a child getting that same plan. Like I just give you an example. My niece is 21 years old, and she's getting IUL. She's gonna pay about $100 a month. But by the time she gets to retire, she'll be a millionaire. And so, the younger you are, the better off it is to start something like that. Because you won't think $100 a month would be that much money. But over time and investments, it grows over time. And so, not only do I have an IUL, but I also have other financial products like annuities, mutual funds, all those things as well. I don't primarily focus on that, but when I'm doing the financial planning with someone, I go over everything because they might already have life insurance, so they won't need an IUL. Another product would be more beneficial. So what I do is a consultation based off what they would really need. And I have to ask questions first. And usually what I use is called a DIME method. The first, the D stands for the debt. The I is the income, because right now you have a certain income in your life. You want to make sure you maintain that when you retire. And so that's where I would figure out how much you would need to maintain your current lifestyle. The M would be for your mortgage. You had a house you have to pay for that you continue to pay off. And then the E will be for your expenses. Some people have people going to college, those kind of expenses or other expenses. But whatever your expenses are, be your individual expenses. So I'll have to do an individual assessment based off those factors. Give me a question.
I was going to ask, for a startup business or a business a small business that's, you know, two employees or less, you know, usually it's just an entrepreneur by himself. What are your thoughts on the products that will be best served for that kind of individual?
But that kind of individual, it depends on what you're trying to protect. If you're trying to protect your assets or actual property, it just depends on what you're trying to protect. If it's just you and that other employee, I would just consider general liability. And general liability will cover you if something were to happen in an action on the way to, where you're doing a business transaction or anything going on with your business. Someone tries to sue your business. A lot of what I'm finding out is I'm doing a lot of these churches. A lot of churches not covered at all. They think they don't need insurance, or they think they have enough. And most of them don't even have enough to replace the cost of the building. What you want to do anytime you get any kind of insurance product is make sure you have enough to totally rebuild what you have. If you get a house insurance, don't get just enough. Some people get just enough coverage just for the state laws. But in general, most of the time when you do that, you're not really protecting yourself. You know, for instance, I talked to a lady the other day. She had a house. She insured for $50,000. Our house is worth $250,000. So if something were to happen to her home, she wouldn't even be able to replace her home that she has. She had to go to the hood or something. She lives in a very nice neighborhood now. And so those kind of decisions you have to think about before you insure. A lot of people say, well, I can't afford it. But can you afford not to get it? I mean, a lot of times we want to penny pinch on things that we shouldn't penny pinch on. You know, some things you can, like off-brand products on this and that. But some things you have to get the real deal. Because I noticed I used to work for a lot of smaller companies, and the level of service with Nationwide, the level of protection you get with Nationwide is just much better. And so that's why I really love the company I work with now. I think I can really help people as well as make an income for myself. So I think I'm doing a lot more for the community too, because this company does a lot more for the community. So I think all in all, it's been beneficial for me and helped me grow and learn as a person to work with this company and see the kind of things they've been able to do in the community. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What would you say, I know you've been transitioning, getting some other licenses this year, but what would you say has been the most fulfilling client experience this year for you?
Probably, like I just told you, I deal a lot with churches. I had a church, for instance, my church, where I go. We didn't have sexual molestation coverage in my church. We didn't have pastoral counseling coverage. And anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's like when you counsel someone at a church, there's a possibility that counseling can lead someone to do something wrong or commit suicide or all kind of things. And so you have to be covered for those kind of things. We didn't have that kind of coverage at all. So like sexual molestation is another thing we didn't have coverage on. And that's one of the things that it could be a false accusation. And all it takes is an accusation, and you can lose everything. And so I think that's been really fulfilling for me, because I'm youth director for one in my church. So that's good to have that coverage for us, and as well as protect the church and keeping the church intact. So I think that's probably one of the most fulfilling things. Just in general, being able to help these churches get everything together. And in most cases, not only improve their coverage, but I lowered my church cost by $2,100. So I improved the coverage while lowering the cost. So that's been a great blessing for me, and I've been able to bless a lot of churches in my neighborhood. Got a lot of meetings set up for January. I told you, I want every church. I'm not going to quit till I get every church in Dallas. And I mean every church, every faith, everything. I want every church in Dallas under my agency, and I plan on doing that. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, again, with my, I'm all about my grandkids.
Okay.
I have several of them that in sports.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how can their parents and even me protect them?
Best thing to do with sports, Aflac now has a policy to where they call it accident plan. But Aflac is a little different than most companies. Most companies' insurance is going to be concerned about your hospital bills, all your other bills. Where Aflac, the money goes regular to you. So with Aflac, they have what they've instituted now. Your kid is playing organized team sports. They're going to give you 25% more than they would have given you if it was just any kind of other accident. So they've increased that. Tell them they can get an Aflac plan. It's for individuals or companies, you know, either or. But those plans give you cash, because you got to, more than likely if something happens, you got to go get a sling or cast or anything like that. And then with Aflac now, they pay them within 24 hours. So if something were to happen, you won't have to be like, oh, I got to wait 6 months on an insurance company. No, you get your money the very next day. In some cases, the same day if it's early enough in that day. So that's the way to protect them, and the money, again, goes directly to them instead of the hospital. So the Aflac accident indemnity plan is what they would need. Any other questions?
And if you're LLC or
Yes, I'm an LLC.
corporation?
I'm an LLC myself. I work for a corporation nationwide, and several other corporations. But I protected myself with LLC, and I plan on having other companies up under this one LLC. I have another LLC. I have a real estate company as well, but I have a business partner in that venture. So I did have to set up a separate LLC for myself and this other company, this other venture. And I also have to get errors and omissions insurance, up to $2 million worth. So in case I make a mistake, someone trying to sue me, I'm protected. So yeah, just to make sure that I'm protected, I also have the errors and omissions insurance as well. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You offer a lot of good things, so I'm trying to think of who's right. I mean, aside from churches, because when you're here in networking events and chamber events, you're in front of a separate market per se. So aside from churches, who would you say is your target market? Because you, like for example, here in chamber events and activities, what other
Funeral homes.
funeral homes?
The reason why I say funeral homes have a location and they have vehicles. Trucking companies is another thing we try to get. So they have trucks, and usually they have a station where they're located. So where they have multiple, and like I said, the main focus I'm doing now is commercial. So it's going to be business accounts. So I would say first, for me, funeral homes, because of again, they have a location as well as multiple vehicles. The thing with insurance, what I'm trying to do now is try to secure big land masses. If you got a big property, or if you have a property and vehicles, because you put everything together, it usually lowers the price for them, and as well as you get a nice premium. So either way, it helps both parties, myself and the person that I'm trying to help in most cases. Most of the churches that I've dealt with, again, I haven't had not one so far that I haven't been able to go to cost. Only time I can't help churches is they don't have central air, something like that. A lot of times it's a little more expensive. But in most cases, you got central air in the new building, or you're dealing with State Farm or Farmers or one of the other big companies, or Allstate. Generally, we can find you a better price in most cases. Nationwide is just much better. We're just the best. That's all I gotta say. And one of the ways that I market, since we mentioned marketing, is I go to some preacher association meetings. But that's kind of how I'm getting the word out there, what I'm doing. And based from those meetings, I'm able to have several other meetings. For instance, this past Saturday, I went to a preacher's breakfast out in Clinton Heights. The 4th Avenue Church in Dallas, over by Fur Park. And when I went there, I met the guy from Clinton Heights that was there, 4th Avenue. There was several other churches that was there. And these are guys I normally don't get to meet with. Somebody my daddy knows, so I went just to meet some of the guys. And based off that one meeting, it gave me like 2 seconds to say who I was and all that. And I got like 6 calls already just from that one meeting. So pretty much I'm just putting myself in position with people I'm trying to target. The next thing I'm going to do is a funeral. I'm going to a funeral board. The next thing I'm doing, my friend knows a friend of the guy from Golden Gate, Beckwood. So I'm trying to get myself out there and meet more people, put myself in more positions and meet more people. Yes, ma'am.
And since you mentioned that, I was going to say that 4th Avenue is a great church, and they have a great community of ministers.
Yes.
Because that's where my grandfather went to church.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he was.
What's his name?
Well, he's been passed.
Oh, okay.
It was Willie Boyd Thompson. But,
Oh, okay.
I know for a fact that is a great ministry that they do, because they go all over, and the one that he is definitely associated with is in Red Oak. So
Yeah.
and they have a great group. They just had a revival.
Yep, they did. I went to it.
Yeah.
And see, they have one thing I like about, like, some churches kind of section themselves off, black, white, whatever. That's what I like about this group. It doesn't matter what color you are, as long as you generally care about God and focus on God, they'll accept you in that group. So that's what I like about it. It's giving me more exposure to more different opportunities. So it's been a very great thing. And like I said, the next thing I want to do is get in front of the funeral board, because again, that's my next target area. But right now, again, I want to get every church in Dallas I can get. So if any of y'all know anybody that has a church that's either uninsured or underinsured, I probably can help them save money, as well as improve their coverage in most cases. So if you know anybody, again, I'll get them in touch with me. and we'll try to make some things happen for them. Yes, sir.
Do you have any flyers that we can pass out to the ministry?
I'll bring some flyers next week. Actually, Brandon he redid a flyer that I had did. He made it look 10 times better, so I'd rather use that flyer. So Brandon, email me that flyer again, and we'll get that out.
Yeah, I saw my pastor, one of those you got to
Yeah.
show him.
Yeah, I come over there and show him, tell him I meet with him anytime. This is what I do full time now. So I even meet on Saturdays or something. Matter of fact, yesterday I met with a church. On Sunday, I met with a church right out the church. So I mean, any day I'm available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I'm your man. So just give me a call. Like I really realize like my position and my availability to help people now. So it's just something I really have a zeal for doing. So if anybody, I can help anybody, I want to help them. If I can't, I also let them know that too. I'm very real with the people. I'm like, well, hey, you already have really good coverage. Keep what you got. You know. Because at the end of the day, I just want to make sure people are protected. Not necessarily that I get anything from it, but as long as they have the proper protection. There's been like 4 or 5 churches I've been to already. Well, you guys have everything in place already. You don't need to deal with me. So I'll be honest with you, one way or the other, I'm not going to let you know. If you need to do something different, or you got what you have now is good enough. But either way I go, I'm going to give you a real consultation and really see what your needs are. And that's my goal, is to really help you, not just to make a commission myself. I want lifetime customers, not just to sell. My thing is to help churches, because what I've realized, what I found out since I've been doing this, that when you help others and they see you really care about them, they're going to refer everybody to you anyway. So that's what's kind of been going on with me too. Like I go to one church, oh, you know, I got a cousin that's a minister over here. And so that's kind of what's going on now. And so I just thank God it's such a blessing, you know, to be in this position. Go ahead.
And also he has a car wash.
Oh.
He washes cars downtown, but he has people that got franchise.
Yeah.
So they have those trucks, so that way you be able to do
Sure. Yeah. And I'll hook you up with something. You put me in touch with that guy. But yeah, and I really do that, Joe. I give referrals. People, you like give like a $25 gift card. It depends on how big the client is. If you give me a client that got that many, we'll talk. I get more than $25. But in general, I don't do kickbacks, but I do referrals because once I realize, if people realize you're getting that referral money, they'll see you a lot more referrals. That's what I'm finding out. And it's legal for us to get gift cards. We just can't do kickbacks. So I do have that availability. Are there any more questions? You don't have any questions for me?
Well, your videoing, is that just for Brandon, or is that something else you're...
Well, the videotaping, I started with doing it for the Dallas area preachers and church leaders. It's a minister group that I'm part of. And pretty much what we do is we try to spread the word to the entire world. So we have different events, and I record and I upload and do all those things. That's where I started it. Me and Powell, we work together on a whole lot of different ventures, so I just brought it to this meeting. But I do it in general, I just do it to spread the word. You know, in general, that's what I do. Like I preach pretty much now a lot, so I preach, I post it online and do all that. So that's primarily what I use it for, as a preaching ministry tool. That's what I use it for.
And this video here will be uploaded to our YouTube page,
Yeah.
our Facebook page. We have an EYC.
Yeah, so we have an EYC group on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, and what I do is upload. So if you were to do a presentation, I will upload it. You can actually use that to send it to people, but in a way that saves you a lot of time for having to explain every time, just what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. You can say, you know what, just take a look at my video. This is what I do, and so that's why these things are good too. The impromptu meetings, you guys can ask me anything y'all want, and so just imagine how powerful that'll be for your people that have questions about your business. And so I think it's a good tool. I want to thank Brandon for doing this today. What I'm going to do is now ship this video to other people. You got questions? You can look at my video. And so that's kind of why we do the video. And we're so glad to have each and every one of you here. And thank y'all for your time. I appreciate it.
If you have any additional questions, please